It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. I used to wear bulky guards that slip down every game. These stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable, definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch to goat sleeves now. They don't slip, they don't slide, nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time. In these, featherweight and super comfortable.
Legend begins where heroes end.
Why are you still wearing those old clunky shin pads when you could be wearing these?
I used to struggle with shin guards sliding all game. These are a game changer. Put them on, you don't even notice them. They're comfortable, keep you going until finish.
It shows how fast you move on the pitch because it's stuck to the shin bone and does not slip and slide all around the shin.
No distractions, no readjusting, just focus on the match. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material is soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material is soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. The first thing I notice is that these guards don't move. Once they're in place, they stay there. I can tackle, sprint, or slide without adjusting them. You feel secure and locked in. My first impressions of the GOATS guards, honestly, super light and super clean. Straight away, you can tell they're built to move with you. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro. These guards don't move. The first thing I notice is that these guards don't move. Once they're in place, they stay there. I can tackle, sprint, or slide without adjusting them. You feel secure and locked in. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro. My first impressions of the GOATS guards, honestly, super light and super clean. Straight away, you can tell they're built to move with you. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro.
Hi everyone, happy Saturday if you are in Australia, happy Friday if you are in the UK, Europe or the USA, and wherever you are in the world. I hope you're all well. So we've got quite a few bits to get through today, and I'm just going to cover off a little bit about first thing first is we need to remember to subscribe. So if you're not a subscriber on here and you want to ask questions within the chat, you need to be a subscriber and also preferably a member of our community, which is school.com/ProPlayerPathway, and that's in the chat and it's pinned to the top if you want more information on how you can join me as a player agent and as your coach as well, to help you maybe just get a little bit better at football or soccer, or maybe you want to make it as a pro. Now, a couple of things we're going to be going through today. We're going to speak a little bit about upcoming trials in January, a couple of extra updates within school that you would have noticed in the last 24 hours. And then we've got questions from a couple of players. And we've got a topic that I'm going to cover off in regards to tackles. And that's one of the big questions for today, and it's a great one. I'm going to do a bit of a whiteboard session. And also, we've got a little bit of questions around match analysis and GPS trackers and success stories and non-success stories, and a little bit about upcoming Christmas period as well. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to hop straight in and I'm going to share my screen. So hopefully you guys can see my screen. And I'm just going to take us into our school platform. So if you would have been in the school platform over the last 24 hours, you would have noticed a couple of little changes. So for those mums and dads who are on live with us, we've added in a couple of additions within our community safety rules. So whenever anyone joins on the platform, normally you will receive an email that goes to the parents' email address, and then mums and dads have to register within the group. Now we know there is times where boys and girls are on the platform with us and mums and dads are busy cooking or maybe still at work, and we've got players who are joining us who are underage. So we've had to put in place just some community safety rules just for mums and dads to understand the responsibility around this, that obviously they are online with your permission, and we're trying to do everything we can as well to protect our members, players, parents, me as a staff member and our staff members as well. So you'll notice at the top, guys, I'm not going to go through it all in detail, but we've got a new post and that will be pinned to the top always. So anyone who joins and is not aware about our rules, there's quite a few rules that we've got within our community safety rules. So one of them, we can't have any adults messaging minors, and what I mean by messaging, I mean DMing messages. If we've got a community post on there, and I've put a community post on, let's say around about, what do we think about Liverpool beating Manchester United 7-0? What are your thoughts and opinions? Within that community chat, obviously everyone can comment on that, but what we are saying is we do not want any adults DMing any of the players on this platform. And if you are unsure if a member is underage or not, you need to message me, and I will firstly clarify why you want to DM that member privately. And the second thing is to ascertain if the member is 18 years or older, then obviously I'll just say, go right ahead, you're allowed to DM them because you're both adults, okay? But also we have rules, guys. Remember, the rules of this community and platform is all about safety, looking after our members, our minors, children. Be careful what we put in here. Obviously, it should all be around football, soccer, football development, soccer development. And also, we are fine to have a little bit of fun in here, but also we need to be conscious that we have underage players on the platform who use it from time to time without parents as well. Okay? If any of these rules are broken, I will ban or remove members straight away from the group. And I'll be in touch with you. If it's only sort of a minor one, I'll give you a warning. But if I deem it to be you've gone against what we've put in these rules, unfortunately, not only that means you'll be banned and you'll be removed, but that means you'll lose everything in regards to your access to me and Triple P. So we just need to be careful with that. There's a little section for parents and that. Now, if you're currently on and mum and dad's in the other room or mum and dad's at work, you need to make mum and dad aware about this community chat in relation to the safety rules. But also we have emailed all the mums and dads, but we know sometimes it goes into junk email. So parents, as always, whenever we invite players to join on our platform, it always must be done by a parent. We're also looking for mums and dads to monitor all of the interactions and DMs. We'll do our best. Also, no sharing of personal contact details. Now, we've not had this, but in the past there's been groups where people have been pretending to be famous football players and saying, oh, give us your information and we'll send you some stuff. Okay, we are not allowed, okay, to be sharing personal contact details on here, okay, whatsoever, and more so for the under 18 players within our group as well, okay. I would prefer if there's any parents who are sharing personal information for whatever reason to other adults within this platform, I ask you guys to maybe share each other's phone numbers or email addresses and do it away from the platform. we run a risk if we've got personal contact information within this community. And if I see any of it, I will remove it and delete it straight away. Also, keep all the messages football related and professional. Anything that you might be concerned about, so whether you're a player on here with us or you're a mum and dad, even if you just think it's something really, you might think it's silly and it's not important, I always ask you to raise it with me and I will investigate it with my team and we'll make immediate action if we think anything needs to happen. Also, just to cover off the final part, we will remove any member for safety reasons. So if we think anything is going on untoward, we might suspend you or ban you from the group. But if we've done that in error or whilst we just investigate a situation, obviously guys, we hope that you respect our decision to do that because it's about the protection of the players and the members and the staff. So if you do get suspended or banned, don't feel that you've done something wrong. It might just be because we need to investigate a situation within the platform. Obviously, for those guys who are based in Australia as well, obviously there's been a lot of changes more around social media in the past couple of days as well. So we just need to make sure we are completely across it all, okay? So guys, I'll leave all that in there for everyone to have a read. So it is pinned to the top. We are going to be sent, I believe we have sent an email. If not, that email will be going out very soon to all of our parents. And also, just to make sure we are doubly covered, if we go into Classroom, if we have a look towards the bottom, we've got our community safety guidelines. Okay, all new members must read this, and it's a rule now once you've come in. It gives you the same message and the same information. And also, over the coming days and weeks, I am going to be putting in some informational videos around child safety and child protection. And it's more for our younger players who are under the age of 18. Just for those guys, for one, just to be careful on what they're putting within the community, but also to spot for anything untoward. And I would say to all the players on the platform, if you're under 18, I would say you guys need to get permission from mums and dads before you DM or direct message anyone within inside the platform. It should all be on the community board on here, and it should all be within the chat and visible for everyone to see. If you're under the age of 18 and you're adding in information and comments within here, then this thing is a way for all of us, parents included, and me and my staff, we can see what's happening and what's being said. So I would encourage that if you are under 18, you need permission from your mum and dad before you engage with any DM or direct messages with anyone on the platform. Okay, that was just an important one, guys, that we probably should have covered, which is a couple of weeks ago. We have had the information within Classroom, but it's the first time we've posted it up on the community. And we just want to make sure you guys are all safe and everyone's happy. And it's a great environment for everyone to learn. That's the most important thing on here as well. So, next thing we're going to have a little look at, and this is a great one, and I'm just going to see if I can just pull up. There was a message from Khaleesi in relation to our match analysis and our GPS results. Now, I'm going to just see if I can pull up the exact message. So, every week we get one of these posted by our lovely team, and they get the match objectives submitted to them. Now, if you get your match objectives submitted before the meeting on the Friday, we then will congratulate you on a Saturday and tell you what a good job you've done. Now, what's getting a little bit worrying for me is, and I've realised maybe this is my fault, but no one has submitted match objectives at all this week. And I'm getting a little bit concerned that we're all falling behind, especially those guys who are going to the UK on trials in April. Now, a message we got from Khaleesi was thanks for keeping us up to date. Unfortunately, I haven't had any games of late as this is our off season, but I'm still training most days. So these particular players, some of these players that we're speaking about are currently in Australia, and it's their summer periods where the seasons are closed. However, guys, remember, we have covered this a lot of times. You do not need to be in a match with a referee and a linesman to do your match objectives. You can do your match objectives in futsal, five-a-side, indoor football, summer league, summer series. if you're involved in a game of football, and as long as there's round about 3 or 4 players on each team, and it's indoor, outdoor, it's some sort of a summer competition, it's futsal, that can be included in your match objectives. Now, if you're just playing out in the yards with your brother or sister or mum or dad, then obviously we're not recording objectives there. But if you're involved in any sort of semi-competitive game during the week, and I know most of my players are, then you should be recording your match objectives. Now also, something else I will put out there. If you are aiming to go pro and make it as a professional, you've got a long summer period if you're based in Australia and New Zealand. You've got about 6 to 7 weeks off now. I'll be pretty disappointed if my players aren't playing futsal, if they aren't playing indoor football, if they aren't playing some sort of summer series. You cannot go all the way through 7 or 8 weeks with no competitive football, okay? You need to make sure you are maintaining your football and you're keeping your match objectives. Now, I expect to see 1 match objective result submitted a week from my players, and I'm not seeing that. At best, we're seeing 2 or 3 players submitting match objectives. So the problem that we're going to have is, especially for those players going on trials in April, if you're not submitting your match objectives, then it's only going to go to one thing. When we go all the way to the UK, you are not going to be successful in having a successful trial when you're over there, because you are not putting in the practice and the effort. So if you've got any sort of underlying beliefs, or you think like maybe, oh, I can't do objectives because of this or that, I want you to message me in the community and tell me why you are not doing your match objectives. And I bet you I can come up with a reason why to help you. Now, admittedly, you might be on holiday for 2 weeks with mum and dad. That's fine. You're allowed to be away for 2 weeks, but not missing for 6 to 8 weeks. Also, if you're injured or you're on a long-term injury, then yeah, that would excuse you from doing your match objectives. But if you're fitting well and you know there's opportunities to play some sort of competitive football or soccer, you need to be recording 1 match objective a week. Okay, so that's that one covered off. Next one. GPS trackers. I've got some congratulations. So, George Murphy, well done. Isabel Hayder, well done. And Nathan Long, well done. You guys have all submitted GPS tracking results this week. Now, with the GPS trackers, and I will cover this, I don't expect you guys to be submitting your GPS tracking results every week, and quite simply because I will share this with you, and you should all be aware of this. But just to follow on from that, well done George, well done Isabel, and well done Nathan for submitting your data. Now, if we go into Classroom, and if we go to GPS trackers number 3, and if we look at our recording activity, you will notice on the sheet, let's say that we're recording here, you'll notice you've got a lot of results you can input. Now, I don't expect you to fill this out and then send it to me every week. What I expect is, once one sheet is completed, then submit your GPS results, okay? So, based on that, you should be recording at least 3 GPS results a week, a minimum of 2 training sessions and 1 game day. Now, if you're based in Australia and New Zealand at the moment and you're not playing competitive games, well, we've just covered this, you should be playing some sort of games. But there's no reason why you can't record at least 2 to 3 GPS sessions a week. So based on that, we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We've got about 30 cells in there to complete. So roughly that's about 10 to 14 days it will take you to complete the sheet. So my concern is going to be, if I'm not getting one of these GPS results every 10 to 14 days, then that is going to flag up to me. Now again, as an example, for those boys and girls who come on trials with us in April or in the future, the first thing I'm going to do is, a couple of weeks before, I'm going to go through the list of everyone who's joining us, and I'm going to look to see how many times you've submitted your GPS and how many times you submitted your match objectives. And if you're below level, I will be having a conversation with mum and dad, some parents and guardians, just to say, that, yeah, we're going to go to the UK, we're going to have the best time of our lives, but the chances of being successful on this particular trip, it's going to be pretty hard because you've not submitted anything in the last 6 months, or you've only submitted 20%, okay? Now, I am going to go through in January, and it's going to take me a long time to do, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to go through, and I'm not going to name and shame any players or mums and dads. I'm going to just DM you directly and say, guys, your son or daughter has not done anything, or they are well below par. Now, I don't want the alarm bells to be thinking, well, should we cancel the trip and leave it till next year? No, you guys have all had time to do this and make this happen, okay? Especially the guys who were meant to be with us on the September trip. You've had extra time to get this organised as well, okay? So if you're a member of our full-time pro player pathway, okay, and you've got your GPS tracker and you've had your match analysis done, you've got no excuses for this. And if you don't have a GPS tracker and you haven't had your match analysis done, guys, there is a way now that you can get this completed. So if you're coming just on a tour with us and you are interested to upgrade to the trial element of the trip, what you can do is, if you go to Classroom, you can come down here and you can actually purchase a match analysis right here. And you can also get your DNA test if you want to get one of them done. And also you can purchase your GPS tracker here, okay? So there are options there for you to have access to that, and that would enable you to have all of the benefits of what everyone else has got. But again, we are completely up against time at the moment, and we need to make sure we get moving with everything. Now I'm just going to go back to my other screen and we'll see if we can get me back on. Now what we're going to do is, guys, we are going to just very quickly, it's been about 20 minutes of me talking, we'll give you a quick chance. If you want to go and get a quick drink, run to the bathroom, get a pen and paper to make some notes. Maybe you need to give mum and dad a shout about some of the safety guideline rules for the community that we've added in. And we will be back with you guys in a couple of moments.
You don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Ghost Grips, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. I used to wear bulky guards that slip down every game. These stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable, definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch the Goat sleeves now. You don't slip, you don't slide. Nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time. In these, a featherweight and super comfortable.
Legend begins where heroes end.
Hi everyone, we are back again now. Our next topic that we are going to cover, and we've been giving you guys an opportunity to ask us a question and or cover a topic. The last session we done on Thursday was a great one. We covered working on wide players, so working with the 7 and 11 or the attacking fullbacks. So we looked at some of the areas there. Now the next one we've got, and this is a great question, and the question was all around how do we prevent, okay, myself, when I say myself, like we're talking about the players, from overcommitting in tackles. Unfortunately, this particular player can't join us today, but they've asked me to still read out the question and cover it, and they're going to watch it back. So big thank you for sending that question in. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little look at, when we say defending, I don't mean like you're a defender per se. I'm on about like how you would defend in a game in general. So whether you're a goalkeeper, an attacker, a midfielder, or a defender, how would you defend and how do you prevent yourself from attacking, from jumping in too early, and from overcommitting in tackles? So I am going to share my screen very quickly, so just do a bit of magic here again. Hopefully this works. Now what we are going to do is I'm just going to load up my special whiteboard. So just bear with me for 30 seconds. We'll just see if we can get this connected. Okay, so hopefully everyone will be seeing this, and I'll just double make sure, because I know last week I didn't check this and I didn't flick the screen, but I'm just going to double check that you guys are seeing everything that we're seeing and we are all connected. Yeah, and that looks great. Okay, now when we're talking about overcommitting as defenders, what I want you to do is, in the community chat really quickly, I want you to type in who you believe the best defender is. But what I mean by that is, again, I don't necessarily mean like Andy Robinson at Liverpool as a fullback. Just anyone who you think's got one of the best qualities on how to defend. So they don't necessarily have to be a defender, but they might be. So type in the comments on YouTube, who's the best at defending and who's the best at like not jumping into tackles and overcommitting. Give us your answer and I'll tell you why this is important in a moment. So type it in for me into the comments and add in who you believe. Now, when we are talking about defending, whether you defend from the front, the middle, or the back, this will be covered completely in here. Now, I'm seeing some great ones. Sergio Ramos, Paolo Maldini, what a player he was. Not many people know who he was, Jake. And Schlosserbeck as well, yeah, what a great one. Now, one of the big things I want to cover off on this, so when we talk about defending and whether you're in a 1v1 situation, there's a couple of areas that I want you to really, really think about. Now, there was a period, I think it was the 2019, I'll make sure I get this right, 2020 season, and he was a centre-back who didn't tackle or slide tackle once in the whole season. And this player won the EPL. Does anyone want to have a guess who this particular player was? So he was a centre-back, they won the Premier League, and he didn't tackle or slide tackle once the whole season. Woof! Jake Watson, Roddy, he was in like a leopard. It is correct, Mr. Virgil van Dijk. Now, the best thing and the best way to defend a bout on a pitch, and I'm gonna cover this and I'm gonna clear my screen so I've got a bit more room on here to show you. Now, to stop yourself from jumping in on tackles and for jumping in on players, we need to think about a couple of things. And I'm going to put this one up here. And I'm going to come back to this in a minute. But these are the principles of defending, okay? So I'm going to cover this in a moment. Now, I want you to think about, there's a couple of things we need to consider. We've spoke about numerical advantage before. So we want to be in a 3v2 when we attack, but also a 3v2 when we defend. Or, even better, a 4 versus 2. We always want to be in a really strong numerical advantage. So, the best way you can help your team with this when you defend is don't look to win the ball back. Now, for most people, that seems counterintuitive. You're like, what? Don't look to win the ball back? That sounds crazy. But listen, there's a process we must follow, okay? And we've covered this before, but I'm going to show it to you. Oops, sorry guys, I just changed my screen. Now, let's imagine this is our goalkeeper. these are some of our defenders on our team. And this is currently you as a player. And you found yourself, you've got right out of position, too high up the pitch. Your team are attacking this way, okay? Now an opposing player is here and an opposing player is here, and this guy has somehow now managed to get the ball. And you are completely out of position here, okay? You want to look to recover behind the ball first. So always recover behind the ball. That is your first priority. And by doing that, you will give yourself a numerical advantage. So, again, I've spoke about this. Don't make a run this close to the player, okay? That's going to go too close. And what this does, when you go that touch tight, it forces this player to start moving in this direction towards our goal. And this puts us under pressure, okay? The best players who find themselves out of position, they will do this. They will normally make a run this way around the outside for two reasons, okay? The number one reason and the number two reason. It will force the player inside, and that's where we've got our numbers. We've got numbers here, we've got numbers here. Also, it's gonna force the player to think a bit longer and not to force a decision, okay? So hopefully this is making sense. Now, let's say you've got now yourself back in this position. All of a sudden, you and your team now are in a numerical advantage because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 players. So we've now created a 4 versus 2. And for me, that means we are safe. And I would now be happy for you to apply pressure this way, forcing the player backwards, or to play the ball to this guy. So we need to think about numerical advantage first. When you are thinking, I'm going to jump in and try and tackle, no, think about numerical advantage. Don't look to win the ball back first. Look to recover the ball and look to recover behind the ball first, okay? So this is the key trick. Recover behind the ball. So we've made this big, long arching run around and we've recovered in. It's not going to force the opposing player to move forwards towards your goal, and it's going to force them back, if anything. So that is the first step to this process. Hopefully this makes sense. If this makes sense, guys, give me a thumbs up in the comments so I know you're getting it and I know you're understanding it. If I can get 3 or 4 of you to give me a thumbs up, that'd be great, just so I know that you're understanding what we're talking about. Now, in regards to DDR, we're going to come back to this. Now, the principles in the Premier League were laid about 15, 16 years ago when we worked on the EPPP project. And a lot of the top clubs in the Premier League, they actually added in a rule of thumb, not for defenders again, not like if you play in defence, but just for anyone who defends on the pitch. And you need to follow these 3 rules, okay? The first rule is, a big thank you Ford and Shooty and Norm Wales for the thumbs up, and Jake Watson, thank you. So, the first one is delay. Okay, that's number 1. The second one is deny. And the third one is restrict. Now, we used to always say to the players, we want you to have DDR in your head all the time. And this is what you need to do. Let's imagine you're attacking in this direction and you're a central midfielder and you're there. And you've got a player who's coming towards you and he's got the ball at the feet, or she's got the ball at the feet, and you've got your goalkeeper here. And everyone else are all up here on the pitch because you've just had a corner kick. And you now find yourself in a little bit of a precarious position because there's you and a teammate and you've got a 2v1 against them, but you know this player is fast, he's quick, or she's fast, she's quick, and if he gets or she gets past you in this situation here, we are in big trouble. Okay. Now, first thing we need to think about in this situation is we need to make sure that we are communicating with this player. Communication is key, and your communication should always be hand signal and a voice signal. And you're calling that player to come across to you over there to cover that space, okay? Now, how you're going to delay the player in this particular instance, and I'm just going to remove this player for this instance, there's a couple of things we need to think about. We need to always maintain a 2 meter distance between you and the opposition player, okay? If they move, you move. And that will always maintain a 2 meter distance. Now, there's no possible way, if you keep a 2 meter distance as they're moving towards you and you're moving them side to side as they're coming towards you, there's no way they're going to be running at pace, and when you've done your first job, you've delayed them 100%. The next thing you want to do, and the big thing here, is we want to deny them, okay? And what we want to deny them is space. We don't want to allow them space. Now, by doing this, keeping the 2 meters and keeping them slow, you're denying them from getting into this space too quickly. So what I want you to think about is the longer you can deny them. Now, the way you can deny them is by standing side on. Now, your body position is everything in this, because if you show them side on and you're 2 meters behind them towards your goal side, basically, so you're facing your goal. So this is your goal here, your goal side. This is what goal side means, okay? If you're side on and you've got your strongest foot pointing towards the player and you're 2 meters more closer to your goal than the attacker, you've won the battle already. Because what you've basically done is you've thrown them a challenge and you've said, right, I'm going to give you a 2 meter head start, and I am also going to be side on my strong foot. So if you do try and explode and get past me, I'm going to push off my strong foot, and I actually think by the time you get that ball past me, even if you're faster than me, my goalkeeper would have already have come out and covered this space. And by the time that ball's played in there for you to attack, the goalkeepers took the ball and cleared it, okay? Or the other scenario that we've got in here as well, which we spoke about before, we have got our other teammate into play here. Our other teammate can help us. So we're trying to deny them space. So we've delayed them, tick. We've denied them space, tick. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to restrict them, okay? And we want to restrict them from going towards our goal, okay? And how we do this, we then start to look to force them sideways a bit, because if we look to force them sideways, and I'll just clear some of this screen just to show you, but if we look to force them sideways, you are doing rule number 1 and number 2. So if you can force a player to go that way, or if you can force a player to go that way, and this would be the only time I would force a player down the sides. Now, we've spoke about this before. I'm a big fan of not letting players get down the byline and get into zone 14. However, if you are in a predicament and you need to delay them and deny them, you need to force them down the channels, quite simply because it will take time. Okay? It will delay them and take time away. Now, if you've got lots of numbers in here, then we don't need to send them down the sides, and we don't want to send them down the sides. We would make a move here and try and force them So we would go there. We would try and force them a little bit into here where we've got numerical advantage to win the ball back. Okay? So we've restricted the time. So all of a sudden we've done our job. So we've delayed them, we've denied them, and we've restricted them. Now, hopefully, by following DDR, delay, deny, restrict, by being side on, by keeping a 2 meter distance, it's going to stop you from jumping in. And what you're going to realise is, to finish off, the greatest defenders of all time, and Paolo Maldini was one of these. I couldn't tell you the time I really ever remember Maldini at AC Milan sliding in to win a ball back. The players that don't need to tackle and don't need to slide in are the best defenders, because they understand what's required for the benefit of the team. It's about getting a numerical advantage. How do we get that? We get numbers in behind the ball. Once we've got numbers in behind the ball, then we can then look to go and win the ball. There was this myth with Barcelona for many, many years that they had this rule about trying to win the ball back within 3 to 5 seconds. That wasn't true. It was just made up in the media, and it was made up in the press. The one thing that Barcelona, as a rule over the many, many years, especially under Pep Guardiola, were very good at, was getting numbers behind the ball and then recovering and being in a balanced situation, and then they were in a position where their attackers could look to win the ball back. The rule of the best teams who defend the best is the team that gets a numerical advantage behind the ball. Once we've got a numerical advantage, we hold all the cards and we can then look to go and win the ball. So hopefully, whether you're a goalkeeper, Jake, whether you're a defender, a midfielder, an attacker, that will hopefully give you a little bit of a better understanding of how to defend in situations and how not to jump in. Now, I know we've got Jake online with us at the moment, who's a goalkeeper of ours. Now, Jake, I know he's pretty intelligent, but some goalkeepers will think, what's it got to do with a goalkeeper about defending? It's got a lot to do, because you are the focal point of the team. You can see everything that's going on and what's not going on. And this is what really frustrates me, and has frustrated me living in places like the US and Australia over the years, because they'll have defending practices with the defenders, but they won't involve the goalkeeper. And I'm like, why? I said, why would you not involve the goalkeeper? Because he's the person, or she is the person, who can spot everything in front of them. And what I mean by that is, let's say we've got a centre mid who plays here, and his name is Johnny. And Johnny is not doing what he's meant to be doing. He's always trying to win the ball back first. He's not recovering behind the ball. He's not giving us a numerical advantage. So the type of communication I'm looking for Jake, my goalkeeper, is, Johnny, you need to recover behind the ball first. And as a coach on the sideline, there's nothing better than seeing leaders on the pitch. And when you see leaders on the pitch, that then means that you know you don't have to do much on the sideline, but also it actually wakes coaches up to problems, because some coaches, and I'll admit this, we miss things sometimes, but the best way of discovering or seeing things is that when we hear communication from teammates. And if we keep hearing Jake, our goalkeeper, keep speaking to Johnny, then that's a great point that we can raise either during the game or at half time, and basically advise Johnny, if he doesn't follow the team rules of recovering behind the ball before we look to win it, then basically you're coming off and a substitute's going on. So hopefully, everyone, you enjoyed that little bit of masterclass on how not to jump in. And I think when you focus on DDR, delay, deny, restrict, recover behind the ball first, it's going to stop you from jumping in, and it will eradicate that. And we're talking about building you guys as players from the bottom up, from the foundation. So hopefully that explains that one a little bit better for you. Guys, if you did enjoy that one and you felt like you learned at least one thing, can you just give us a thumbs up or write down what it was you learned? We are going to go to a very, very quick break before we come back for our final part. But I'm looking for the best bit of feedback from that little mini section. So give me a thumbs up or give me a little bit of a reason on what you enjoyed the most about that. And we will be back very, very shortly. We are just about to go to a very quick ad break.
You don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Goats grips, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. I used to wear bulky guards that slip down every game. These stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable, definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch the Goat sleeves now. They don't slip, they don't slide. Nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time. In these, are featherweight and super comfortable.
Legend begins where heroes.
Hi everyone, big thank you for some really good comments coming in, guys, and thumbs up. So one of you's put down that you learned how DDR works, so delay, deny, restrict. Again, I will put, when we post this video back into the group for everyone to watch back on the recording, you'll notice I'm going to start to put more detailed information on the post as well in text form, so you can actually see what we've actually covered in the session as well. And we are going to be plugging in some really, really clever AI in the new year, where you can should just be able to click on a particular part of the text and it will jump you straight to the time of the video. So that's another improvement that we're working on at the moment, but we're always trying to improve the system for you guys. Great one from Jake, making sure you have the numerical advantage was very interesting, as I normally would just want the players to win the ball, not first go for the numerical advantage. So there is coaches out there, Jake, and it blows my mind, and as someone who's been doing it particularly really poorly this season, and you'll be happy at this being a Man United fan, but Liverpool, for most part of the back end of last season and the beginning of this season, they've been looking to just try and win the ball back, and it leaves us in a very precarious situation. Teams who've made changes to get numbers behind the ball before they look to win the ball back, will be no surprises, is Man City and Manchester United. So if you watch them in highlights from this season, look what they do when they lose the ball. Now, what you've got to remember as well, Jake, if teams have a quick scan and they're already in a numerical advantage, and what I mean by that is there's already 6 players behind the ball and they've only got 3 balls against us, then we're in a position to go and win that ball straight away. So we don't need to look for any more numbers. Where I would always err against it, if you're in a 2v1, a 3v3, you've got to try and delay, deny, restrict. But it's a really, really interesting one. And for me as a coach, the best coaches over the years who've gone on and won Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues. Jurgen Klopp was good at it. Pep Guardiola's been amazing at it. It's all about getting in that numerical advantage. And as a keeper, Jake, I think you'll admit as well, it makes absolute sense. You want to have a numerical advantage against your opposition. It just makes you feel more comfortable. It's like, I don't know, going into a boxing ring and going, right, there's 5 heavyweights, you've got 3 on your side, and there's 2 on the other side. You're going to go with the team who've got 3. Because you got a slightly better advantage having that extra player. And if you can get in a situation where you're in a 4v2 or a 5v2 and you've got 2 or 3 extra players, including the keeper behind the ball, you're in a really, really strong position. And then if you're doing delay, deny, restrict, again, you're allowing your attacking players to get in. But also, this actually shows up the lazy players in the team, because if you've got teammates who are delaying, denying and restricting, and that process can be 3 to 5 seconds. That's all you need in a game of football to delay a team. If you've got teammates who are not tracking back in, then your coach is going to spot them a mile away, and it shows lazy players straight away. And we want to spot lazy players, not because we want to have a go at them, but we want to educate them that you need to get fitter because you're struggling. We're only 40 minutes into the game and you haven't even recovered once yet. So it really gets those players to stick out. Now, a couple of other quick things. So I want you guys, if anyone's got any questions, we are nearly coming to the end of the hour. If you've got any quick questions, drop them in. I would love to answer them for you. And just a little bit of a reminder of something else that we've got coming up at the moment. So just see if we can go on here. So I did mention it on Tuesday and Thursday this week, but we've got this new awesome pack, okay, called our Holiday Mega Pack. If you would like one of these for free, okay, so it includes the new Goat Shin Guards bag for your shin guards and football boots and slides to go in. Now we've had this bag made, it's called the boot bag, but we've had this bag made so you can fit in your slides, your boots and your shin guards, and you can fit in your breathwork strips and probably a pair of socks as well. So it's a great addition for anyone's football bag. You get the socks, the slides, the shin guards, the breathwork strip, and also, you can't really make it out here, but we've also got our compactable stool, which is a great addition if you want to give it to a mum or dad who come and watches you and there's never ever anywhere to sit. This folds up really small and tight, and this can literally fit in a small bag as well. But this bundle, I want to give it away for free, and if you want to get it for free, all you need to do is basically invite someone to our platform, and if they sign up and register on our platform, we will give you one of these completely for free. So all they need to do is register in as a premium member or as an annual member, and if they sign up as an annual member, it costs like just over $2 a day. All right, so if you work the math out on this, guys, this is a pretty good deal. You guys can get one of these for free, and all you need to do to get one for free is you just need to guide them to our page, which I'll put up on here, but most of you will know. Now, most of you will visit it via the app, but it's school.com/pro player pathway. So it's just there up at the top for you. And if you do that, and if you share that link and they jump in, it's free to join. And then once they join, if they upgrade to premium or if they upgrade to annual, all you need to do is message me. And as an example, if it's Jake, Jake can say, hey, my mate Tommy's joined, here's his name. I'll check that he's joined and I'll get my team to send you one of these packs out completely free of charge. So this is worth $200 US. It's about 350 Australian dollars. So for every, and if you nominate 3 players and all 3 players sign up, I'll give you a pack for every player who signs up. So what about that? And you can share some of these goodies around with your teammates. So hopefully that encourages you guys to share it around. If you want to know how to share your link around, if you click the top right corner, if you go to affiliates, my bad, settings, no, not that one, profile, I'll get it right eventually. Yeah, so if we go, so I'll show you where that is again, guys. So I'll come back out so you've all got it, because I confused myself with that one. So when you're in a skill community here, if you click at the top, you've got affiliates. I think on your mobile phone, this particular option's in the bottom right corner. So then you click affiliates, and then you need to make sure you click on this bit. This is the important bit. Go Pro in football and soccer. Copy that code, hit copy. Then you could then send that to your friend, and 2 things are going to happen. If they sign up, you'll get one of these for free. Also, you'll notice in here, you'll get money, and we'll actually send you 40% of the cost of what they pay. So not only will you get 40% back in money of what they spend, so if they sign up for an annual subscription, it's about 1,000 Aussie dollars. You'll get about 300-400 Aussie dollars, but you'll also get one of these for free. Also, what they're going to get as well, which we've made a bit of a change, which we love as well, anyone who signs up, if you have a look at our about page, there's informational videos. So if anyone goes, Jake, but I don't really know, why would I want to sign up? If they watch this video and hit play and watch this video, there's 2 useful videos, but also show them this. this is what they'll get for signing up as well. So if they sign up as an annual member, okay, they will get one of these as well. So what an offer that is. So probably in excess of $700-800 worth of gear, but it only actually costs just a little over $1,000 to join for the year on the annual plan. So I will leave that one with you, and I'm just going to jump back in just to see if we've got any final questions before we drop off and everyone can go and enjoy the weekends. So let's see if we've got anything in there. So I don't believe we've got any more questions in here, guys. So we are pretty much on the money for the hour. I've got a lot of updates to do and to add in for the weekend onto the school platform. Also, just a reminder, we've got all of our community, our safety community guidelines are all on there now to see. They are pinned at the top of the community page, and also under classroom there's a full section in there as well. And again, if you are underage or mums and dads, or if you've ever got any concerns, don't hesitate, guys, DM me. And hopefully we never have any incidents, but I'm sure at some point in the future we'll always get one or two. And we've got a process to follow and rules to follow, and we want to keep you all safe and well. So big thank you for joining us, guys, and I look forward to seeing you all on our next meeting, which is tomorrow. It's Podcast Sunday. I think Podcast Sunday kicks off at 10:30, and we'll have live podcasts from all around the world, and that goes until 1:30 p.m. And then we'll be back on Tuesday with another live weekly coaching call.
You don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Goats grips, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. I used to wear bulky guards that slip down every game. They stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable, definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch the Goat sleeves now. They don't slip, they don't slide. Nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time. In these, are featherweight and super comfortable.
Legend begins where heroes end.
Why are you still wearing those old clunky shin pads when you could be wearing